Black Americans. Black Americans are a foundational population in the United States, with a history rooted primarily in the transatlantic slave trade. Beginning in the early 17th century, millions of Africans were forcibly brought to the American colonies, where their descendants developed a distinct culture shaped by slavery, segregation, and the long struggle for civil rights. Over generations, Black Americans built influential cultural, social, and political institutions, contributing profoundly to music, religion, language, sports, and national movements for equality. Their experience is central to understanding American history, from abolition and Reconstruction to the Civil Rights era and modern social movements. As of late 2025, approximately 42 million people in the United States identify as Black American. Mexican. Mexicans are the largest ethnic minority group in the United States, shaped by both deep historical roots and modern migration. Large parts of the U.S. Southwest were once part of Mexico, meaning some Mexican Americans trace their presence back generations, well before modern borders existed. Later waves of migration accelerated in the late 19th and 20th centuries, driven by labor demand in agriculture, railroads, construction, and industry. Today, Mexican Americans are highly diverse, ranging from recent immigrants to families established for centuries. Culturally, they have had a major influence on American food, music, language, and regional identity, particularly in California, Texas, Arizona, and the Midwest. As of late 2025, an estimated 40 million people in the United States identify as being of Mexican origin, making them the largest single ethnic origin group in the country. Europeans. Europeans in the United States refer to distinct ethnic groups and immigrant communities originating from countries such as Ireland, Italy, Germany, Poland, Ukraine, Russia, Greece, and the Balkan states. Large waves of European immigration arrived during the late 19th and early 20th centuries, with millions entering through Ellis Island, forming the foundation of many urban industrial centers. Additional influxes followed World War I and World War II, including refugees fleeing war, political instability, and persecution. Over time, most European origin groups became linguistically and culturally assimilated into the broader white American population, though many retain ethnic traditions, religious institutions, and family identities. As of late 2025, roughly 20 million people in the United States are European-born or closely identify with European immigrant ethnic communities. Caribbean. Caribbean Americans include people with roots in islands such as Puerto Rico, Cuba, the Dominican Republic, Haiti, Jamaica, and Trinidad and Tobago. Migration from the Caribbean increased in the late 19th and 20th centuries, shaped by U.S. territorial ties, labor demand, political change, and economic opportunity. Puerto Ricans hold U.S. citizenship by birth, while other groups arrived through immigration, refugee programs, and family reunification. Caribbean communities are heavily concentrated in New York City, South Florida, and parts of New England. They have had a significant cultural impact through music, religion, cuisine, language, and labor, while often maintaining strong island identities alongside American life. An estimated 9 to 10 million people in the United States identify as being of Caribbean origin. Native American. Native Americans are the indigenous peoples of the United States, with histories that long predate European contact and the formation of the modern nation-state. Hundreds of distinct tribes and nations develop unique political systems, languages, and cultures across North America. Following colonization, Native Americans faced displacement, warfare, disease, forced removal, and assimilation policies, including reservations and boarding schools. Despite these pressures, Native communities have preserved cultural traditions and maintained sovereign tribal governments recognized under U.S. law. Today, Native Americans live both on reservations and in urban areas, playing an active role in cultural preservation, legal advocacy, and environmental stewardship. An estimated 9 to 10 million people in the United States identify as Native American alone or in combination with other identities. Central American. Central Americans in the United States include people with origins in countries such as El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama. While smaller numbers arrived earlier, large-scale migration increased in the late 20th century due to civil wars, political instability, economic hardship, and later violence related to crime and insecurity. Many Central Americans settled in California, Texas, New York, and the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area, often forming strong community networks. Their experiences frequently involve mixed legal statuses, asylum claims, and family reunification, shaping distinct social and economic patterns. Culturally, Central American communities contribute regional foods, music, and traditions that are increasingly visible in U.S. cities. An estimated 6.5 to 7 million people in the United States identify as being of Central American origin. East Asian. East Asian Americans include people with origins in countries such as China, Japan, Korea, and Taiwan. Early East Asian presence in the United States dates back to the 19th century, particularly Chinese and Japanese laborers who worked on railroads, agriculture, and urban industries, often facing exclusion and discrimination. Immigration patterns shifted significantly after 1965, bringing larger numbers of students, professionals, and families. Today, East Asian communities are concentrated in major metropolitan areas such as Los Angeles, the San Francisco Bay Area, New York, and Seattle. They are highly diverse in language, class, and migration history, with strong representation in education, technology, business, and culture. An estimated 6.5 to 7 million people in the United States identify as East Asian. Southeast Asian. Southeast Asian Americans include people with origins in countries such as Vietnam, the Philippines, Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, Indonesia, and Malaysia. Large-scale Southeast Asian migration began after the Vietnam War, with many arrivals coming as refugees fleeing conflict, political persecution, and economic instability. Vietnamese, Cambodian, Laotian, and Hmong communities form significant refugee populations, while Filipino migration also includes long-standing ties through U.S. colonial history and military service. Southeast Asian communities are concentrated in California, Texas, Minnesota, and Washington, with strong family and community networks. This population is culturally and socioeconomically diverse, with experiences shaped by both refugee resettlement and professional immigration. An estimated 6 to 6.5 million people in the United States identify as Southeast Asian. South Asian. South Asian Americans include people with origins in countries such as India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, and Bhutan. While small communities existed earlier, large-scale immigration expanded after the 1965 Immigration and Nationality Act, bringing students, professionals, entrepreneurs, and families to the United States. South Asian communities are concentrated in metropolitan areas like New York, the San Francisco Bay Area, Chicago, Houston, and New Jersey. This population is highly diverse in language, religion, and culture, encompassing Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Christian, and Buddhist traditions. South Asians have become especially visible in medicine, technology, education, business, and public life, while maintaining strong cultural and family networks. An estimated 5.5 to 6 million people in the United States identify as South Asian. South American. South Americans in the United States include people with origins in countries such as Colombia, Brazil, Peru, Ecuador, Venezuela, Argentina, and Chile. Immigration from South America expanded mainly in the late 20th and early 21st centuries, driven by economic opportunity, political instability, and, in some cases, humanitarian crises. South American communities are especially concentrated in cities like New York, Miami, Houston, and Los Angeles. This population is highly diverse in race, language, and cultural background, reflecting the mixed indigenous, European, African, and Asian histories of the continent. South Americans contribute to U.S. society through business, education, arts, and professional fields while maintaining strong transnational ties. An estimated 4.5 to 5 million people in the United States identify as being of South American origin. Middle Eastern. Middle Eastern and North African Americans include people with origins in countries such as Lebanon, Egypt, Iran, Iraq, Syria, Palestine, Jordan, Turkey, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, and Libya. Early migration from the Middle East and North Africa began in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, often involving traders, students, and laborers, while later waves were shaped by war, political instability, and refugee admissions. This population is diverse in language, religion, and ethnicity, including Arab, Persian, Kurdish, Amazigh, Berber, and Assyrian communities. Middle Eastern and North African Americans are concentrated in states such as Michigan, California, New York, and Texas, and are prominent in business, medicine, and academia. An estimated 3.5 to 4 million people in the United States identify as Middle Eastern or North African. African Americans. African Americans, in this context, refers to people in the United States with recent or direct ancestral ties to Africa, distinct from the longer established Black American population shaped by slavery and segregation. Large-scale African migration to the U.S. expanded after the 1965 Immigration and Nationality Act, driven by education, professional opportunity, family reunification, and refugee resettlement. Major countries of origin include Nigeria, Ethiopia, Ghana, Somalia, and Kenya. This population is highly diverse in language, religion, and national background, and often maintains strong transnational ties alongside American integration. African Americans are concentrated in metropolitan areas and are especially represented in higher education, healthcare, and technology. An estimated 2.5 to 3 million people in the United States identify as African American in this immigrant-rooted sense.